Hey guys, welcome back to another F1 2021 video. So we've just started season 2. We completed round 1 last episode, Bahrain Grand Prix. A lot of promise shown in that race. We were doing pretty well, and then we had a bit of a spin towards the end of the race. Then we had like 4 laps left it was. And we had a bit of a spin. We were sitting up, P10, P11. If it wasn't for that spin, we would have finished pretty well. So pretty promising start to the season. We also signed Nico Rosberg to the team. So hopefully he will help us out as we head further through the season. As we head into the facility now, marketing department has an issue, so we'll take a look at that and see what we need to do with that one.
Some good news. It's entirely up to you how we handle this.
So, F1 closet F1 fan Clay Donovan wants to shoot do a bunch of stuff. We're going to spend the money.
Pass on their thanks for helping out.
No worries. I mean, easy decision. We spend a little bit of cash. We get a whole bunch of team acclaim. So we're going to renew our sponsorships. We're not going to change them yet. Stick with what we've got. It has been working through the first season. So we'll keep that for season 2. R&D wise, we're sitting at the top for powertrain, but we're going to keep going with that. We've got all of the Spec 1 upgrades for all the facilities, so we can sort of keep pushing through what we didn't get through last season. We've got Spec 2 for chassis, so we're starting to push on with that. Gonna try and develop our durability as we're sitting second from the bottom for that one. Durability not so much of an issue for us. It's going to be a shorter season, so I'm not too worried about it, but we'll still do it anyway because we are still going to need to have our parts last, to a certain extent. Activities timeline, we've got 16 days to use, so we go with everything except, I'm pretty sure it's except for second driver training. Might as well use all 16 days and get as much out of the time before the next Grand Prix weekend as we can. With that done, we will start advancing time.
We had a major issue on the production line
right off the bat.
So the entire development package for this weekend has failed.
That's right.
Developments
We'll just head in.
from the R&D screen.
Take a look at it. Okay, so engine cover, which I'm pretty sure was a major one. Yeah, that was one that we, I think we tried to rush that one last episode, so that's not a surprise. We'll just get some more resource points back and we'll restart that one because we're definitely going to need to upgrade the chassis if we want to be competitive. Well, same way. Spend the money, get the acclaim. If we decline it, we don't get anything for it. So, it's only 50k, we might as well spend it.
I appreciate you taking the time to help out.
No worries, might as well do it. We don't get anything, we don't get any more sponsors till team acclaim level 25, so it's going to be a while, but, we might as well take what we can get now. And another part has failed. Another chassis part, I do believe, cable assembly. So there's 2 chassis upgrades gone. So 2 chassis parts gone. We are trying to rush them. We don't have much to lose. I can't really do much worse than it already is.
We had a major issue on the production line earlier this week, so the entire development package for this weekend has failed.
Yep, we knew about that already.
Developments will need to be ordered from the R&D screen.
Yep, and we will get to that once we've got more points.
Could you take a look at this for us, please?
Geez, marketing is just got so many issues today. We can't decline. We don't want to lose resource points anyway, so we're going to spend the cash and get more resource points.
You handled that well. Thank you.
No worries. It was kind of a no-brainer at this point anyway. That now should give us enough points to restart at least one of those failed chassis department upgrades. So we'll head in, we'll go straight for the engine cover one because it's a major one. That one there will get us from the bottom up ahead of Williams and AlphaTauri. So we really want to get that one done first. And one went right. That's exactly what we want.
We've had the new parts come through the fabrication process. We'll have them with us for the next Grand Prix.
Awesome. So we got one out of 3. It's not a great strike rate, but considering we are trying to rush them, I'm pretty happy with that at this point. I mean, one's better than none. We should also now have enough points, I think, to upgrade the cable assembly that we missed out on last time. Yep, so that one there will be ready for, what's that one? For whatever round 3 is. Portugal. Which will be good. What's that? What's the Portuguese Grand Prix track called? I can't remember. But we definitely want as many upgrades as we can get before then. That one there, it's a track that I do like, so if I can have more upgrades, then I feel like we will do a lot better there. Be a lot more enjoyable, that race. As we head along to practice, so with Nico now on the team, practice has gone great. Most of the resource points claimed, he even got some performance boosts for us. So already showing his class, which is great. Last season with Joe and Schwartzman, both being rookies when we signed them, weren't contributing a huge amount to our practice weekends. To the weekends in general. But it's kind of what we expected. So it's good to have a seasoned veteran come out of retirement to help us out. Will definitely help us in the long run, especially with us rushing so many upgrades now. We are probably going to need those extra resource points for the ones that don't pass the quality control. As we take a look now at the qualifying run, so this lap here was our best lap, so we were sitting on 1 minute 18.138, which was good enough for 18th place at this point. Imola are quite a it's quite a fast track, but it's still somewhat technical.
There's only 1 lap of fuel remaining.
Yep, thanks for that, Jeff. We were pushing the fuel as far as we could. Didn't want to keep going back into the garage to reset. So run the fuel down and get as many laps out as we can. That the less fuel we had in the car, the lighter and faster it also became. So we tried to push as many laps as we could against per run. A little bit wide the second last corner, but we managed to hold fast through sector 1 and 2. We come back at the start. Fastest sector 3 of qualifying up to that point. I don't know if it was the fastest overall, but it ends up working out for us. We jump all the way up to P12, Rosberg, P17, which is still not bad considering the issues we have been having with our car. So I'm pretty happy with that. Team claim going up. We're slightly ahead of Giovinazzi in our rivalry, which is new for me. But yeah, I'm happy with that as we head along to race day.
Hello there and welcome back to Imola, home circuit of the Scuderia Ferrari. We expect to see a lot of local supporters in red today. They've all turned out for what we have every expectation of being a sensational event here at the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. 3.1 miles of track here at Imola, featuring 19 turns, 9 to the right and 10 to the left. Remember that Imola differs from most other Formula One circuits as it's driven anti-clockwise. Let's hope no one forgets that today. The exit from turn 18 will probably be the setup for many of today's overtakes, leading as it does into the longest straight of the circuit and its only DRS zone. And with me as usual is Anthony Davidson. Let's discuss Red Bull. There have been some tweaks to the power unit regulations, of course, and I have to say it doesn't seem, so far at least, that they've been able to keep up.
There are a few downcast looks within the team this weekend. I think they've been hit fairly hard by the new regs. But this is only the first step down a long road of development, and even if they don't maximise their points today, there are plenty more up for grabs this season.
It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, and it's Valtteri Bottas that completes the front row. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Perez, Verstappen, Lando Norris, and Sainz, Fernando Alonso, Ricciardo, Gasly, and Lance Stroll. The captain, Ocon, Robert Schwartzman, and Leclerc, Tsunoda, Giovinazzi, Nico Rosberg, and George Russell, Joe, Latifi, Mick Schumacher, and Nikita Mazepin. That's it then, it's time to go racing as we head to trackside for today's race.
So there's the starting grid for round 2 here at Imola. Mercedes 1-2. We get pushed up into 11th though, due to a grid penalty that Leclerc had to take. I'm not sure what that was for. But this is the strategy we're going to be running with. We're going to be running 2 stops, softs, mediums, and then softs again. Not really willing to try out the hards at this point. I feel like we could probably be faster on the softer compounds, faster than the strategy suggests, as we are off and away here at Imola. We are side by side with Stroll, who just has more speed off the line than that Aston Martin. Whoa, we brake a bit late, and we end up driving straight into the side of, was that Tsunoda? Oh no, Gasly. Straight on the side of Gasly. We do end up collecting Stroll on the way back. We manage to keep the position. We go a bit wide, and Stroll just comes straight back past again. But back at it again. We're just trading, us and Stroll. Everything finally comes down after turn 7. P9 now, ahead of Stroll and Alonso as well. Not the tidiest of starts for us, but we'll definitely take it at this point. No front wing damage, fresh tyres. I didn't see any damage come up from any of those minor collisions, we'll say. And we have managed to get ourselves into a nice position now, just following the train of the top 9 now.
You're in the top 10
or
now.
the top 8,
Keep it up.
I should say. All we got to do is try and hold on to our current position, and hopefully we can end up with a really good result in this one. Lap 3 now, we go a little bit wide there around turn 8, I do believe it was, or maybe 9. 9, I think it was. We are just ahead of Stroll, but looks like he's making a move up the outside. Well, now the inside, a little bit of contact there. We squeeze him out. Maintain that position, so we are getting a little bit of pressure from Stroll. Stroll and Alonso now are tussling behind us. So we need to keep our eye out for them. Gasly pulling away along with the rest of the pack. So top 8 at the moment are making moves to get away from the rest of us. We are still ahead of the midfield runners. Oh, we just mess up the timing on the brakes there at turn 17, a little bit wide at 18. We don't have much of a gap on Stroll. He will have DRS.
You'll be on the mediums.
And he uses that DRS to just breeze past us. Ocon should have DRS on Stroll as well, but he can't get up to us, so we managed to stick in the top 10 just. But with the powertrain upgrades that we have and the new Mercedes engine, we seem to have a lot more power coming out of the corners.
Some
than some of these other guys.
They have some kind of mechanical problem.
Oh, we lose the position there by going wide. Ocon gets ahead of us. We managed to squeeze past Leclerc and stay ahead of him. Jeff saying on the radio there that Schwartzman's got some kind of mechanical issue. It doesn't seem to be affecting him too much. He's still P13. I don't know if maybe it's just a...
Be aware we expect the grip levels to start falling away soon.
Okay, so we're going to be looking to go into the pits soon. Onto a fresh set of mediums. A second gap ahead of us to Ocon, just under a second to Leclerc. Being in that Ferrari, he shouldn't have too much of an issue keeping up with us. Although he has lost a lot of time there, heading around those last corners. He's off into the pits, so we don't have to worry about him for now. Schwartzman a second and a half behind us, but he is gaining. So whatever mechanical issues he has, they mustn't be too bad. Finishing off lap 8 here.
Box, we're coming in this lap.
Okay, heading into the pits this lap to get onto the mediums. P11, so we're sitting right up where we started. Sonoda coming right up on us. Whoa, we messed up the brakes there. Little bit of a tap to the back wheel of Sonoda there. We get a warning for that one. I mean, it was only a little bit, it wasn't much, but it did force him to drop back behind us. He's still right there though. Only 0.3 of a second behind us as we come around turn 7. We do have the power heading out of these corners. We can accelerate a bit faster than these guys, but at the same time we just don't have the consistency through all the turns and the braking points to be able to make these gaps stick as we just make a hash of that turn there at 12 and 13. We let Sonoda come straight past. Oh, a little bit of a slide there. A little bit of a slide off 14, and we give up, what's that now, 5 places. We've now dropped 5 positions. We'll try to get back to, we go in the inside. Alan Joe there at turn 17. Round 18. Now we've got to come into the pits. We're right behind the rest of the train there. And it's just gone from bad to worse as we now get a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. We just, the entrance into that pit lane a lot shorter than I remember.
Go.
And what happened there was almost like the pit crew were going to take that penalty right there, and then they decided not to. Our pit stop was 3.1 seconds.
We'll be doing
What was
one more
that?
stop today. One stop left in our strategy.
Okay, we've got one stop left. We're now P22. We've got a 5-second penalty. A 4-second gap to Leclerc, 5 seconds to Alonso, and then it's 18 seconds all the way up to Schumacher. But those back markers just heading into the pits now, so they hadn't made a pit stop. So that gap is closed straight away. We get ahead of Mazepin as Russell, Giovinazzi, and I'm assuming Alonso all came out of the pit lane together, or at least Russell and Giovinazzi did. So now we're within 1 second of Giovinazzi. Still just over 2 seconds for Russell, but we should be able to catch up to him over the course of the stint before we have to go back into the pits for our second stop onto another set of softs. So Giovinazzi and Russell are on hards, which means they are going to be running right through to the end of this race now, so they won't have another pit stop, so we have to try and get past them as quickly as we can, and we won't be doing that if we keep making mistakes like we did there.
He's in the pits.
Okay, so Rosberg's into the pits now. He's coming off his softs, and he'll be going on to, I'm assuming, hards as well. So that will put him right through to the end of the race also. I don't know what position he's running in at the moment. As Leclerc passed, he just runs the fastest lap of the race from the back half of the pack. Schwartzman in the pit now, Joe in the pits. We managed to just get past Joe as he's coming out of the pit lane. P18 or P19 now, sorry, we're now 2 seconds behind Giovinazzi, so we've lost a lot of time on him. Now being a bit more cautious on the brakes. Alright, we've got him in our sights. We're still out of DRS range, but we are gaining on him now. Getting a little bit more consistent. As Alonso's now on the pits, this will probably be his last stop, as he's on the medium, so he'll be doing a 1 stop as well. He'll potentially be going on to another set of mediums if he's only just pitting now. He could probably go the rest of the race on another set of mediums, rather than going on to hards and having the slower pace. So we're now up into P16 thanks to the pit stops of the other races, but we still have 1 more stop to do. So we really need to start picking up the pace here and cutting through this field so that we can get ourselves a good buffer. We also have that 5-second penalty that we're probably going to have to serve when we come into the pits next, so we do need to make sure we stop making mistakes like this. That turn 12 is really getting us, and we go wide there at 15. We're just pushing too hard. We need to brake earlier and make sure we get around these corners and just get the speed coming out on exit as we lock up the wheels there at 17, around 18, and we've lost all the time that we did gain on Giovinazzi that lap. Leclerc's in the pits now. We just get past him. He'll be on his way out soon. So he will be, I think that's his 2nd stop, so this will take him right through the end of the race. Potentially on a set of mediums, unless Ferrari's got some good tyre upgrades. Okay, so our tyres are still fine, so we can keep pushing on these mediums. Stretch them out as long as we can without losing too much time, so that we can get a better position heading into the pits without penalty we've got to serve. But we will also give us a shorter stint on the softs, which hopefully will give us a better run at the end as we finally take that turn well and we get out of there. But we are now 3.5 seconds behind Giovinazzi. He's on hards, we're on mediums, and we go into a spin. Just another issue, just another mistake, another unforced error there, as now Joe and Leclerc also pass us. We've got Schwartzman coming up behind us, who early in the race it was reported he had some kind of engine mechanical issue going on, which doesn't really seem to be affecting him now, as he will have DRS on us. We've got DRS on I assume it was Leclerc, but we get DRS regardless of who it is, so that will help us. But you know, we're lap 21 and we've dropped all the way back to P19. We've got a 5-second penalty and another pit stop we have to go through. We will serve that penalty. So this race just going from bad to worse for us. In saying that, sector 1 we are running that faster most laps, so definitely tightening up on that. We go side by side with Schwartzman, a little bit of contact there. He's still right there next to us. We have the inside, but he's got all the pace in the world in that Aston Martin. We just don't have, we've got the power, we just don't have the chassis to be able to deal with those sorts of, and aerodynamics department, we're not going to do anything with it because we need to get, we haven't upgraded to Spec 2 until this season, so actually we did upgrade to Spec 2 quality control, but yeah, we just
in this lap, push now.
Okay, so this is not ideal. We're gonna we lost so much time from that spin, and then having that tussle with Schwartzman, and now we're going to be going to the pits already in a bad position, and that's just going to make things even worse for us now. So we need to really start hammering down this lap. We need to try and get as much out of this lap as we can, get on the softs, and then just gun it all the way to the end.
Car behind on newer tyres.
Yeah, so Schumacher's behind us. He is slowly gaining on us on those hards, but he has got fresher tyres than we have. Our tyres are what, 10, 11 laps at 9, maybe like 13, 14 laps old. We really need to have a good run on this last stint if we're going to try and salvage anything from this race. And we don't want another penalty, as we slow down just enough there. So we're going to be serving our 5-second penalty this lap, or this pit run, as Mazepin just flies past us. We haven't even made it into our bay, and we're already in last. As 5 seconds sitting in the pits, it feels like an absolute eternity.
Complete, go now.
A 5-second penalty served, and then even after that, 2.7 second pit stop, which still faster than the other one where we're over 3 seconds.
See these tyres through to the end now.
But now we've just been lapped by Verstappen.
Blue flag.
Perez is already well in front of us, and I'm assuming Hamilton is leading this race at the moment, as we just get lapped by
Blue
Sainz
flag
as well.
conditions. Create a gap and let the car behind through.
Okay, so now we have to move over again. This is really going to mess with us, because even though we're on the softs and we should have a definite advantage over the cars in the positions ahead of us, we're going to have to keep slowing down to let the faster cars through. Unless we can really pick up the pace and actually start outrunning these guys, we are probably not going to have an easy job catching back up to the rest of the pack. We've got 9 and a bit laps left, and we've got to try and gain 25 seconds at least to get out of last place. It's going to be tough, but we're gonna try and maybe go a bit. You never know, a safety car might come along and help us out. We might have to have cars going to the pits for tyre punctures or front wing damage or rear wing damage or any sort of damage. And those sorts of things may just tip in our favour as we get DRS on Ricciardo, and we use that to our advantage. We've now gained 2.5 seconds on Mazepin already. So following these faster cars, if we can stick within DRS range of them,
Okay, gap ahead is 22.2 seconds.
so we are closing that gap to Mazepin, even without the DRS. But if we can keep using these faster cars to give us DRS, and not hold them up too much to the point where we have to keep on letting them pass, we might actually be able to catch up to these slower cars. As we come around lap 28 now, we have closed the gap to just under 13 seconds on Mazepin. So we've done, what, 5 laps? 4 to go, 3 to go now. As we...
We're trailing our teammate by 44.8 seconds.
Okay, so Rosberg is effectively up to P16. As Ricciardo locks up that rear wheel. And now it looks like we've got an issue with the DRS, which is definitely not what we wanted, although Mazepin is now only 8.5 seconds ahead of us.
DRS will be offline. There's a fault with the rear wing system. Stay out, we can work on a fix remotely. The gap to the car ahead is 7.4 seconds.
So Mazepin is having to let the other cars go ahead of him. He's now about to be lapped by Bottas. Lap 30, we might not be able to catch him though, 6.6 seconds in 2 laps. Probably not going to get to that point. There's a seamless little cut there to lap 31. We gained 3 seconds. Lewis Hamilton crosses the line. If we had one more lap, we may have been able to do it. We can see him right there. One more lap, Ricciardo would have forced him to slow down, and we could have just breezed past him. But we're going to have to settle for last place here at Imola.
The race. We'll see you in Parc Ferme.
We were doing quite well, and then it just went from bad to worse.
They take the checkered flag then here in Imola in what has been another outstanding Grand Prix. Anthony Davidson, how do you think they were able to set themselves apart today?
I think that smart tyre management on track and very smooth driving definitely assisted in their victory today. That combination meant they got the absolute maximum out of their tyres at all times.
After an excellent performance at the Grand Prix, I'm sure there'll be plenty of celebrations tonight amongst the Mercedes team, and they certainly deserve it.
So a well-deserved win there for Lewis Hamilton. Double podium for Red Bull. Perez second and Verstappen third, so that'll help them in the constructors. It just wasn't our day. The first sort of 8-9 laps we were sticking with the top 10. Then we had that spin, we dropped back, pit lane penalty, another spin, we had a DRS issue 2 laps before the end of the race. Just once one thing went wrong, everything else went wrong after that. Nico Rosberg, though, on the other hand, finished P13. So really good run from him. We did have a lot faster lap time though, and 119.6 from us, but that there more probably because we got the DRS from Ricciardo, who was basically just pulling us along for that last part of the race. Rosberg sticking to 14th in the Drivers' Championship. We dropped now down to 17th after that finish. Looking at the constructors, Mercedes now only 19 points ahead of Red Bull. Red Bull second, McLaren third, 48 points behind Mercedes. So two rounds done. We're still ahead of Giovinazzi in the rivalry, which is good. We want to stay ahead. We haven't won a rivalry yet, so ideally we want to win the first one of season 2. And then try and get some momentum going from there. We didn't get any interview questions this race weekend. Not sure why. So there's a lot of income we lost out on there, but we still have a fair amount of money sitting there, which we're going to need because we're going to have to keep on upgrading our facilities. We also need to make sure that we have enough money sitting there for when Rosberg's contract comes up, so that we can possibly re-sign him depending on how much he costs and also how well he does. I mean, he's already showing that he can do reasonably well with a car that isn't quite where we want it to be. So that's promising. If we can get some more upgrades on the car, we might be able to get him into the top 10, and if we can get our consistency, or if we can just be consistent full stop with our driving, we might also be able to make it into the top 10 on a regular basis as well. But yeah, we'll have to see. We'll just keep rushing chassis upgrades, get some other Spec 2 departments up, rush them. We don't have much to lose, so we will focus on trying to get upgrades as quickly as possible. So that brings round 2 to a close. If you enjoyed that, please do leave a like and comment. Just leave whatever comments you want. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, do subscribe. It would really help me out. Thanks for watching.